by coming towards the edge of our seat and just making sure that the feet are firmly rooted into the ground. We want to place both of our shoulders, level to one another and relax the shoulder blades down the back. You'll then take your chin and just start to bring your chin towards your left shoulder. Find that full range of motion so that your chin almost aligns with the shoulder blade. And take your gaze as far towards the left as you can. A little stretch for the eyes. Give yourself 2 breaths here. And then use a nice exhalation to bring your head towards center, and we'll take the chin to the other side. So start to draw your chin towards your right shoulder. Relax the shoulders down the back. And then take your gaze as far towards the right as you can. Final breath here. And we'll use an exhalation to bring our chin towards center. Now let's interlace the hands behind your back. You might need to scoot towards the edge of your chair to give yourself some space if you have armrest. Squeeze your shoulder blades in towards one another and draw your elbows together. We'll then take our left ear towards our left shoulder, tuck in the chin slightly. If this is good for you, then work here. But if you want a little bit more of a stretch, you might take both of your hands towards your left hip. That's going to lengthen out the right side of the neck even more. So just sort of play around with what feels good. You can even tilt your chin forward and back, just releasing tension in the neck. And then inhale to bring your head up. Take your hands towards center if you change that bind, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So now we're taking right ear to right shoulder. Drop down through that left shoulder, really lengthen the left side of the neck. Work here if this is good. Or if you want more, maybe you take both of your hands towards the outside of your right hip. And again, just sort of rock your chin back and forth until you feel a nice long stretch along the right side of the neck. This is getting into the scalenes, little muscle structures along the sides of the neck. Good. Inhale to bring the head up, bring your arms towards neutral, and just release the hands. We're then going to interlace our fingers behind the head. Draw your shoulders and elbows towards one another so you're making a nice open angle in your shoulders and your arms. You're then just going to lean your head back into your hands and pretend like your hands are a hammock for your head. Try to relax the head completely. Keep bringing your elbows back behind you, and I'll even turn sideways so you can see what that looks like. But you're just bringing your arms more open, letting your head rest back, let your rib cage flare forward. Give yourself just a few breaths here. Opening the chest and the pecs. You're doing good. And then exhale, draw your elbows towards one another. Drop your chin towards your collarbone and just let your upper back round. Give yourself about 2 breaths. And inhale to come up, release the hands down, and just start to roll out your shoulders. We're going to keep working our way down the body and going into our side bodies now. So for these twists, we want to make sure that the knees and the hips stay in line. Whenever we twist, it's common to twist from the hips, and you'll notice that your knees shift. Try to keep your knees in line, your hips in line, and just rotate from the upper portion of your trunk. So you can inhale to lengthen your spine, draw your navel in towards your spine, nice core support, and we'll start to rotate the upper body towards our right. Notice if your knees have shifted and they're no longer in line with one another, realign the knees and the hips. Just twist as much as you can from the upper torso. This is a great place to hold on to your armrest for a little support, just to get a little bit more from the stretch. And use an exhalation to find center. Good. Realign the hips and the knees if needed. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, rotate towards your left. Notice if your shoulders lifted as you twisted. Try to relax the shoulders down the back again. And then as you exhale, release that twist. And we're going to come into a seated forward fold. This can feel really good on your lower back and your hamstrings. So I encourage you to scoot towards the back of your chair. Still let your feet feel supported by the ground, but scoot back a little. Bring your knees about hip distance apart, and we're gonna start by laying the body over the thighs, right? So you wanna make sure that we can keep a connection between the rib cage and the thighs as you fold forward. It'll just help support your back. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, bring your ribs and thighs towards one another, and just let your upper body drape forward. We're gonna let the head hang heavy like a bowling ball. So try to release any gripping, any tension in your neck and shoulders, and we'll take about 3 breaths in the forward fold. Final breath here. Inhale, start to rise up. Good. We're going to come back to the edge of the chair and continue to work into our hips. So we'll take our left ankle and we're going to place it on top of the right knee. For some of us, this is already enough of a stretch. You might start to feel this in the hips already. If that's you, then work in this space. If you want just a little bit more sensation, go ahead and use your left hand right in the middle of the thigh and just start to encourage the thigh open. We don't want to press onto the knee or put any pressure there, but bring the hand to the thigh and maybe think about externally rotating the hip. So that means bringing your inner thigh up and your quad, the top of your thigh, down in a little rotation motion. If this is good for you, work here. If you want a little bit more, maybe you take it into a forward fold, bringing your chest towards your shin. Take a few breaths here. You can even get a double posture out of this by bringing your fingers in between the toes and just starting to massage the ball of the foot. And again, you can do this even if you're upright and your knee is a little higher. It's just a little added bonus while you're here. Give yourself one more full breath wherever you are. And then we'll use an inhalation to lift the upper body and change sides. So now it's our right ankle coming on top of the left knee. We're gonna flex through that foot. Just gently start to encourage the thigh and the hip open. You're welcome to work upright or take a forward fold. And wherever you are, interlace your fingers into the webbings of the toes and just start to massage the ball of the foot. I'm just working my wrist in like a figure-8 motion. Good. We'll take one more full round of breath here. And we'll use our next exhalation to lift the torso. So we want to turn to face the chair, and I will rotate this way just for visibility, but you can just stand up where you are and face your chair. Bring your hands to the seat of your chair. Start to walk your feet back and allow your upper body to make a 90-degree angle. We're going to then slowly start to lower our chest between our biceps and let our gaze and our head drop towards the floor. Now, if you get into this position and you're already feeling a lot of a stretch in your hamstrings and your calf, stay here, work in this spot. Otherwise, you can put a soft bend in your knees and then start to let your head hang down between the biceps and just relax the upper body. My feet here are about hip distance apart. If you want more sensation for the legs, you can always walk your feet closer together, but I find that hip distance is generally enough for most people. Maybe even sway from side to side. Help you feel the stretch in your hamstrings, your calves. Some of us might even feel it in our Achilles. Good. Use an inhalation to start to walk the feet in. And return to your seat. Good. One last thing before we wrap up. We want to work more on the feet. The feet just don't get enough love if we tend to sit in chairs a lot. So we already did a nice little massage for the ball of the foot. We're going to work our way for the arch and the heel now. So go ahead and take hold of your foot, either one, we'll do both sides, and use your thumbs just to press into your arches. You're just drawing your thumbs from the heel all the way up towards the ball of the foot and back. When we open up the feet, the fascia of the feet connect to the fascia that sort of webs throughout the rest of our body. So having nice, relaxed, and open feet can release tension elsewhere in the body as well. It's really kind of special. Good. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So allow yourself to switch. And then use your thumbs to just sort of massage the arch of the foot up and down. Nice. And we want to give a little love to the top of the ankle as well. So we're going to turn towards, and we'll just do this together. Let's all turn towards the right side of the chair. And then just take your outer leg, in this case it'll be your left leg, back behind you. Place the top of the foot on the ground and start to straighten the leg. So the top of the foot is touching the mat, like the toenail side is down, and you might start to feel a nice little stretch along the top of the ankle. It's okay if you can't straighten the leg, just straighten it as much as you comfortably can. Release. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So now we're facing our left. We're going to take the outer leg, our right leg, directly back behind us with the tops of the toes down. Press the top of the foot into the mat. Straighten the leg as much as you comfortably can and lift your torso upright. Good. We'll give ourselves about 2 more breaths here. And we'll use our next exhalation to bend into the leg, face forward, and return to the rest of the day. Thank you so much for joining me for this mini segment, and enjoy the rest of the conference.